we talked last week about the idea of making certain that you have your, your inflow lines under control before you turn internally. And the way you get your inflow lines under control is what? If you want to boost your inflow, what do you got to do?
Outflow.
Outflow.
Promote.
Outflow. So last week was all about, well, hello. Last week was all about outflow, and we do that and we focus on getting our outflow done before we turn internally. Now, even before we go into the tactical, we're going to go into a think. And if you guys have ever had a rough day and things just seem to get rougher, raise your hand. You had a rough day and it just seemed to get worse. Yeah, we've all been there.
Yep.
So
Yep.
the necessity of you being in a certain state of mind as an administrator, as the business owner, is massive. And I just want you to think with the idea of you've got a staff and they're following your lead and they're looking and they're always watching. So I'm going to go through what we go through with MGE, guys. Just a couple quick things so you guys get the flavor of this. MGE, blah, blah, blah. That's our seminar room. That's me. Behind me in every video, you're going to see that bust. And there's a bust of LRH on stage. There's one at the entrance. We use it as our PTS-SP detector. So if somebody's got a problem there, we're going to either deal with black PR because there's plenty of misinformation out there. And if we can't sort that out, we're going to invite them to go enjoy Clearwater Beach and give them, directions of some great restaurants and hand them their money back. Okay. So that keeps the noise outside of the delivery area. That's our course room. We have a theory and a practical course room. We used to do remote delivery, but then COVID happened, and that's what our seminar looked like when COVID hit. So we started live streaming, and live streaming has changed things entirely. It was just 3 of us. We all had permits that allowed us to drive on the streets during the shutdown to go there and stream. Then it started to build back up again, and we kept the live stream going. Now we have our offices saying, hey, yeah, we're here. We're just remote. And we have them hold up their tone scales in front of the video. Look at the video that they got. Look at the part of the video that they have my face, my expression. I don't normally look like that when I speak, but, and we just have them. I'm showing you these slides because look at the spirit of play that you see with the staff.
Yeah.
And ask yourself this question, is that the spirit of play of your team? These are dental staff. These are dental staff. It's like a boring ass profession. All right. It's dentistry, teeth, gums, gingivitis. It's not like a glory filled occupation, but we specifically have them, have fun. And this really ties in with what the presentation. Hey, Nancy, good to see you.
Hello.
Thanks for being part of it. Good. I know we got you. You're good.
Okay, sorry.
But
I'm
guys,
in my car.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's good. We'll take you any way we can. All right. So this is one of our dentists up in New York, and if you look in the background, look what you see here on the wall. We didn't even know that these guys had this in place, but communication formula, two-way communication, ARC, KRC, what being alone is, TR0, be there and confronting, student and coach, self-determinism, pan-determinism, ethics or reason, dynamic. So these guys are non-Scientologists, and they sit there and they actually pray before their production day. So I don't judge and I don't have a problem with that. But when they're applying the tech, that's the result I'm looking for. So this is them playing a game. This is a morning production game to see if they're in present time. And the point there with that one is, if they're at a PT, then they have to dance in front of the rest of the group, and they all have fun doing it. And yeah, morning production meeting. That's to get the day started. They start off in games. So questions for you guys. Show me with your thumbs. Thumbs up means yes or positive. Thumbs down means no or negative. Do you feel better when you're uptone or downtone? Show me with your thumbs. Okay, good. Do you have more ARC when you're uptone or less?
More.
Show me with your thumbs. Okay, good. Have you ever been downtone and found yourself unable to snap out of it? I have. Have you guys ever been downtone? Right, good. And this is a question. How do you go up the tone scale if you're down? Anybody got an answer for that one?
I usually go into action.
Jason. Yeah, that's good. Jason, what you got?
Yeah, take a walk.
Good, good. I like both of those. Take a walk is getting yourself extroverted, getting some space. Kareem, get into action, get your body moving, move that body. These are great things. Anybody else got anything else that they've done successfully to snap yourself out of it, to go up the tone scale when you're down? Any successful actions that anybody has? I'm curious.
I listen to lectures. I read, do
Beautiful.
course. You know, of course, get in session, great. But if you're, you have other things going on, that's always stay connected to that source. It's very helpful.
Beautiful. Good. Mike, what you got?
I'll call Jason or Jimmy.
Good. Which works, right? It's a two-terminal universe. And when you're by yourself and you are down, man, grab a stable terminal who is uptone and with it. Excellent. Good. So I'm going to cover an excerpt that we go over with all the staff and doctors of our, of our clients. And this is one of the first lectures they do. And believe it or not, the tech out of this comes out of the Philadelphia doctorate course lectures, number 25 and number 26. Okay. So PDC 25 and 26. This is one of the first lectures that we give our clients. There's 350 people in the room when we do this. So we make sure that they understand the tone scale, and we go over that for about 2 hours. And then we take up stuff. Okay, so this is an LRH quote: descending down the tone scale, affinity, reality, and communication form themselves a dissonance one with the other. And dissonance is a lack of harmony, an increase in tension, or a clash due to the combination of two disharmonious or incompatible elements. So descending down the tone scale, affinity, reality, and communication form in themselves a dissonance one with another. So obviously, as you go up the tone scale, they are more harmonious and they work well together. But as you go down the tone scale, they move further and further apart. And I want you to think about that as an owner for a second, as an executive, as a leader. If you roll through the shop in the tone level of antagonism, what is that producing with your team, with your clients, with your delivery? It's a very important question, and we're going to get into some more stuff on this. So you can think with that. This is a visual version of that quote. As you descend the tone scale, you have less and less ARC, and it seems quite obvious, and it is. And when you take a look at what the ARC triangle and what it represents, there's a few things it represents. It could be called, ARC is how alive a person is. And, another thing is, LRH refers to the elan vital, the creative life force present in all living things. And in short, it's theta, or life. And we literally clear that word theta with all of our clients. What theta is, it's life force energy, it's life. And ARC actually follows different laws than the MEST laws in the MEST universe, okay? So when you take a look at the tone scale, at the top of the tone scale, there's lots of life. And at the bottom of the tone scale, there's less life, obvious. ARC basics. If you connect up with somebody that you have a common reality with, obviously, you have something that you can communicate with them on, and your affinity improves. And if you're like, well, one guy's a dog person, the other person's a cat person, there's less ARC there. Obvious. But I want you to think with this in as regards to these basics, ARC basics. Similarities attract and opposites repel. Now, stay tuned on this point. It seems very obvious, but similarities attract. So we're all here because we all agree that the technology is great. We all want to have better businesses. We feel we can change things. We feel we can improve things. We have a common reality about that, and we are therefore attracted to it. Now, if somebody here said, yeah, but you can't really change anybody, and most everybody is a shithead, and blah, 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 blah. How well is that person going to get along in this group?
Zero. Well,
Right. Zero, right? And do we want them here?
no.
Do we want them here?
No.
No. So opposites repel. So think about ARC basics, the laws of ARC. Similarities attract and opposites repel. So you get a bike club, everybody in that club, it doesn't matter what color they are, what creed they are, what their political association affiliation is, unless of course they make these things a big deal. They will come together because they have a common reality in biking. They have a common reality in each other. They have a common reality in friendship, and similarities attract. Okay. You can have 3 kind of bitchy girls and they get along just fine because they're all kind of mutually bitchy. And it works like that. Okay. You can have one girl who's not kind of in the bitchy girl crowd, and she don't want to be anywhere near them, and they don't want to be near her. So in the laws of ARC, opposites repel. And again, all these things seem obvious, but just watch this. This is so clever what LRH worked out. So obviously teams, you have teams, opposites repel. So in the laws of ARC, similarities attract, opposites repel. Now let's take a look at MEST, which we all know stands for matter, energy, space, and time. Represented by what matter is anything you can touch, energy, light, electricity, space, the distance between you and objects or things, objects and objects, time, the change of those objects through space as it goes along, okay? So in MEST, check this out. In MEST, in the laws of MEST, what happened to opposites in the MEST universe?
They repel.
They attract.
No, they attract. And this is the penny dropper right here. In the MEST universe, opposites attract and similarities repel. You take 2 magnets and you get the north end and the north end, or the positive end and the positive end. You put them together and they push apart from each other. And you put the negative to the positive end and it sucks together. So it's an interesting thing. Same with atoms. We're not going to get into a whole, chemistry thing here, but that there's positive ones and negative ones, and they attract, and that's how MEST holds together. So an interesting thing in the laws of MEST is that opposites attract and similarities repel. So thumbs up if you guys are tracking, and thumbs medium if you kind of get it, and thumbs down if you don't get it.
Yeah.
Good. So everybody's getting this? Okay.
Thumbs up.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And then Kareem, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I'm trying to get or put together, aside from the magnet, like some other examples of how this would work in the MEST universe.
Sure. Well, if you think about this fundamental right here, the MEST universe is composed of atoms, molecules, okay? And the way these things come together is if you have a negatively charged atom, it will attract a positively charged one, and that will create a molecule, right? And the whole universe, MEST universe, is built on these things, including gases, liquids, and solids. So the MEST universe, which is different than the ARC and theta universe, is all built on positives and negatives, magnets, electricity. It just works that way. Mike?
A battery. About the way the battery works, the positives want to go to the negative.
Right. And what's interesting is that we coexist in the MEST universe. So there's things that are theta based and ARC based working in and amongst things which are MEST based. But in the MEST universe, it is very much the case that opposites attract and similarities repel. So we all tracking? It's all good?
Yeah.
Good, good. And this is, again, covered by LRH way better than I would cover it in the PDC lectures. So PDC 25 and 26, where LRH breaks this down really beautifully and to a point that you just wouldn't have questions. I can guarantee that. So my apologies on any failure of delivery here, but I want you to compare that to the laws of ARC, where in the laws of ARC, similarities attract and opposites repel. If you get somebody in your space that is not like you and is talking the wrong end of the political scale, wrong end of your think, is hateful towards you, you don't want to be around them. And that's just a simple way to look at it. So look at these two universes. Similarities attract and opposites repel in the laws of ARC and theta. And in the MEST universe, opposites attract and similarities repel. So now look what LRH says. A flow is a progress of energy, which falls into mass, energy, matter, energy, space, and time. Progress of energy between 2 points, okay? Progress of energy between 2 points. That's a flow, okay? And there are times when you want something and you want someone to agree with you, and you are very much in desire of that, but you feel force connected to it. Like you really want this to happen and you really want someone to agree with you. That's an inflow. So thumbs up if you guys get the idea of an inflow. Good. That's just a flow. That's one of the flows. And then when you want that person, and you're down the tone scale, a very interesting thing happened. You will not get that person agreement. You will not get that person to come towards you. And that's an interesting thing. And the same thing will happen. You really want money. You need money. You must have money. And you're going to find that that doesn't come either. You want new business, and you really have to have new business. And you're going to find out that doesn't flow towards you. So why is that? There's an interesting thing. And you could think of something that you desperately wanted in the past, something that you had to have, but you never got. And it wasn't like a positive create. You weren't up the tone scale. It was something that you desired and demanded and you had to have. And there was a demand for it. And think about, did you get that or not? And then you could think of a time when you wanted something, you could have it or not. Of course, you really wanted it, but you could kind of deal with it if things didn't go that way, and you were happily surprised that you got it. I think we can all agree that there have been times where we were in a better state of mind, and when you're in a better state of mind, things just kind of flow easier, and there's not a lot of force connected to it, and you kind of leave the must-have and can't-have field up into what we call postulates. Raise your hand if that's happened to you. Good. Okay. So the way the flows work is, you can also have an outflow where, you don't want something to happen to you, or you disagree. And that could be with a person. Like you don't want a bad client. You don't want a bad person. You don't want that person anywhere near you. And then what happens? Boom. That person is all over you, or all you seem to do is get the rough clients. You don't want bills, and that seems like all you seem to get. You hate spiders, and a spider comes down a tree, and man, out of the 7 people at camp, that thing lands on you. These are outflows, a don't want or disagree. So, and you could think of something that you desperately tried to avoid in the past. You could not experience that happening, but then what happened? And it ended up happening. And probably think of a time that you didn't want something to happen, but you were prepared just in case it did, kind of willing to experience it if you had to, and it didn't happen. So thumbs up if you guys can remember times that happened.
Thumbs up.
Good. Yeah, good. So let's take a look at why that is. So LRH says the following, and he begins to become matter and act like matter. That is just to the ratio that he goes down the tone scale. So everybody remember this right now. in the laws of MEST, what happened to opposites? What happens to opposites when you are in the MEST universe?
They repel. On the opposites attract.
Correct.
Opposites attract. Good. And what happens to similarities in the MEST universe?
Yeah, they repel.
Repel.
They repel. Good. So you want good people to be around you, but you're down the tone scale and you can't get good staff. You can't get good things. You really want money. You must have money. You are down the tone scale, man. And as he begins to become, and he begins to become matter and act like matter, that is to the ratio that he goes down the tone scale. So when you take a look at the tone scale, you got the laws of ARC and theta at the top. And as you descend the tone scale and start to go down the tone scale, you will now flip and fall under the laws of MEST.
Hmm.
Do you all get that?
Wow.
It's such a crazy OT datum. And we have our clients that are absolute non-Scientologists that get this and they go, oh my God, I am down the tone scale and I've been dramatizing and acting really victim and I'm hurt and I'm harmed and, I'm stuck in a past loss or whatever. And I'm pulling in all this trouble and these bad things. And that person will have a realization. And then they say, good, how do I get up the tone scale? So we're going to talk about that. So LRH says, and the next thing you know, this guy is getting solider and solider and solider, and he starts to obey the laws of matter itself. So this guy falls under the laws of MEST or falls under the laws of ARC? You guys tell me.
MEST.
MEST. Are things going to get better and easier for him? And he's going to get things
Harder.
No, it's going to get harder. That's just what's going to happen. Same thing here. The guy pulls in more problems and more problems. So LRH does something here, which is quite interesting. He defines serious. Now, serious, there's a very specific definition. And he says serious, when interest is important because of penalty. When interest is important because of penalty. And you could go through it. I better close this case because if I need the money to pay bills, or I must get more new business, or I'll fail, or I can't have this in my case, patient, but in your guys' case, customer refund. These are examples of seriousness. Again, serious is when interest is important because of penalty. So I better close this case because I need the money to pay bills. I must get new business or else I'll fail. I cannot have this customer refund. So again, laws of ARC, similarities attract, opposites repel. Laws of MEST, opposites attract, similarities repel. So I better close this case because I need the money to pay bills. High on the tone scale or low? Show me with your thumbs. High on the tone scale or low? Right, good. So I better close this customer because I need money to pay the bills. High on the tone scale or low?
Low.
Yep, good. Good, now if it's low, what's gonna happen with this person? Are they gonna get what they want or are they gonna get the opposite?
Opposite.
Opposite. That's the laws of the MEST universe as opposed to the laws of the Theta universe. Not because I'm saying so, and not because even LRH invented it. Those are just the laws. It's just a fascinating thing. I must get new business or else I can't survive. You all know the answer to that one. It's low on the tone scale. I must get, we all know that person's not going to have the business, and it goes on. So let's take a look. Have you guys ever been sold by a person who is desperate to sell? And if so, what was your reaction to this person's need flow? Like they needed that sale. They needed you to close. Has this ever happened to you? Yeah, good, right, Kareem, exactly. Like, get away from me. Even if you wanted the product or service, you were just like, no, man, I might end up buying this, but not from you. And you couldn't even necessarily say why. There was just some flow connected to it. Well, They were down the tone scale, and what they wanted actually repelled you. So you get the idea here. LRH says this, and the more serious you take the game, the less chance there is of winning. The bottom of the tone scale is lose, and the top of it is win. This tells you it takes lots of space. And Kareem, I think you were the one who said it. Did you say you take a walk, or what did you say? When you go down the tone scale. Yeah, you go into action, right? Right. Action produces, just per ESTO Series 14, it is exchange which maintains the inflow and outflow that gives a person space around him and keeps the bank off of him. That right there produces space. And I think, Jason, you were the one who said, yeah, I take a walk. That's space. That actually, you re-grab space. And LRH says, this tells you it takes a lot of space and lots of unseriousness to win. Now, guys, just straight wire this right now. Think of a time that you were down the tone scale and you were trying to win, you were trying to make a good month, you were trying to meet bills, you were trying to do whatever, and you were very serious about it. It's happened to all of us. And at that point in time, you need to just go, wow, LRH talks about this in Spirit of Play. And I need to grab myself up by the bootstraps or whatever and get a bit unserious about this. And then he goes over some exact guidelines. He says, and you couldn't possibly think that anybody could be serious and win through this universe. Again, serious when interest is important because of penalty. LRH says, when a man loses his spirit of play, he's dead. That means that guys start dying at about where on the tone scale? Where do people start dying?
Yeah, 3.0.
3.0. And guys, that's pretty high. 3.0 on the tone scale, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
That's pretty high.
Wow.
So, you got to think about this. And then LRH says, okay, good. So based on that, look at this. Laws of ARC are above 3.0. Laws of MEST, that's where it starts to kick in. That's where these flows start to kick in, where you want something, you repel it. You don't want something, you attract it. That's 3.0 on the tone scale. This is where I must, I need, I can't have. That's below 3.0. At the top, man, let's do this. And this is what you need. That's the state of mind that you need if you want to create something fun and you want to your postulates to actually push through. So how do we get there? Well, LRH goes over a couple key definitions, and one of them is insouciance. And this is so interesting. He goes over two words. One's insouciance and one's flippancy. And they have been redefined over the years based off of very conservative people who are very serious people. But insouciance definition, a casual lack of concern, indifference, a calm and relaxed state. Flippant. Now, this is what it's become over the years. Lacking proper seriousness. For example, flippant remarks about death, flippancy, okay? That's conservatism that has leaked in through middle-class PTSs over the years. But there's another definition of this. Flippant, characterized by levity. And levity is treatment of a serious matter with humor, lightness of mind, character, or behavior. And I'll tell you, I know a number of you. I know Kareem. I know Jason. When you talk about flippancy and insouciance, Kareem, look at you and look at the matters that you've had to go through, over the years. Look at the things that have been thrown at you, and you just kind of have like, okay, cool. Oh, no, that sucks. We definitely got to sort that out, But how serious do you get about it? You just don't. Jason, man, you're always like, having fun with some jokes and finding humor out of anything. Well, that's flippant. And that's how you win life. Characterized by levity, treatment of a serious matter with humor or lightness of mind, character, or behavior. LRH says this in Spirit of Play. There's nothing succeeds like insouciance. Plain flippancy will actually get more done in less time than anything else you can name. So again, insouciant, free from worry, concern, or anxiety. And insouciance, the cheerful feeling you have when nothing is troubling you. Is another one, free from concern, worry, or anxiety, nonchalant. So how are we doing on this so far? Is this interesting and helpful data?
Very much.
Love it.
Excellent.
It's
Excellent.
really timely.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah. I've been like phase oneing a position in the front of the office and dealing with a bunch of insurance company executives that are really solid and that are really playing hardball and really being difficult. And, you know, I'm winning, but it's been a bit, you know, a
Trying,
bit
isn't it?
of
It's very
work
trying.
and a grind, and this is really going to help.
Awesome.
Nice. Well, we're going to go over some interesting tech here where LRH gives us exact guidelines on how to live life. So the first thing, there's only one way really to get into a state of living, and that's live. There is no substitute for an all-out, over-the-ramparts howling charge against life. That's living. Living does not consist of sitting in a temple in the shadows and getting rheumatism from the cold stones. Living is hot. It's fast. It's often brutal. It has a terrific gamut, which is range, has a terrific gamut of emotional reactions. If you are really willing to live, you first have to be willing to do anything that consists of living. Weird, but it's one of those awfully true things that you wonder why one has to say it, and yet it has to be said. So I want you to think about the tone scale and the expanded tone scale. So we know above 4.0 on the tone scale, you have additional tone levels, and games are above 20. 20 on the tone scale. Can you guys remember what 20 on the tone scale is?
Action.
Good. And then we move into games at 22. Exactly right. And this is not just thinking good thoughts. This is getting in there and moving with effective action and being willing to experience anything, shrugging off the losses. And this is what we tell our clients all the time. Consolidate your wins, ignore the losses. I want everybody to say this with me. Consolidate the wins and ignore the losses. We're going to do it again.
Consolidate
The wins
and ignore the
Ignore.
losses.
And I want you to have, I say that every morning with your cup of coffee. Today I'm going to consolidate the wins and I'm going to ignore the losses. Because you know what? There's not anything that you've been through or you're going to go through that's worse than what you've been through in the past. I can guarantee you that. Done my L's, and I can tell you that there's nothing that could come close to, you know, what you could experience in a day that you haven't been through in a million times worse scenario. But what can happen is on a day-to-day basis, you know, you got the immediate problem in front of you. You got this person, this thing in front of you, and it's frustrating you and it's pissing you off. Well, sometimes that happens because you're a very spirited, active, interested being who needs a bit of a challenge. Sometimes some things just to spice up life because we all need problems, okay? So how do we make sure that we're not falling into the wrong level of problems? And this is really, really where it gets so cool. To take this on, LRH says, and the more serious you take this game, the less chance there is of winning. The bottom of the tone scale is lose. The top of it is win. This tells you it takes lots of space and lots of unseriousness to win. So we're going to do this drill. Jason, you've done this drill, but we're going to just do it real fast. I want you guys to think of something right now. And you don't have to list them out, but you can if you want. What I want you to do is I want you to list out some things, even in your mind, that you're concerned about right now. You know, Kareem, you just started your list. You know, you got front desk problems, you got this, you know, Mike, you might have, you know, this thing or that thing. Nancy, you might have, you know, just get these things like what's on your mind? What are your PTPs in life? It could be personal. It could be familial. It could be in your group. It could be with how do I get the flag? These are like real things right now in your universe. So get your wits around that right now. I'm going to give you a second to do that. Now that list might be a page or two long. It's totally okay. It's a very personal thing. This is not something like you should only have 5 or no, this is your list, and it could be as big or as little. The items could be as big or as little as you want. Okay. Now, the next part of this is take a look at those things and work out how you could be a little bit insouciant, a little bit flippant and non-serious about these issues. And I always phrase this in a way that, you know, because sometimes what your own problem, sometimes it's a little hard. So how could a person who might have such problems be insouciant and non-serious about those issues? What would that person be like? Right? So it's not so close to home. Okay. Now, we're going to go on to the next. You guys ready for the next part? Thumbs up or thumbs down? You guys ready? Okay, good. So what I want you to do is I want you to look back. We're going to do a time machine drill. I call it the time machine drill. And what I want you to do is I want you to fast forward the very last day on this planet that you're going to be in that body. Okay. And it's very, very many years from now. It's not a downtone day. It's a very uptone day. It is a day that you can look back on and say, you know what? This has been a great life. You know, you're ready to go. The people around you are ready to go. You're old, you smell bad. You know, it's like, it's good. It's a good day. It's time, right? This is an okay thing. This has been a great life. And on that day, what do you want to look back on your life and be proud to have achieved? And I want you to make a little list of this right now. Looking back, we're going to fast forward to that day. Again, many years from today. And you're ready. You're ready to close the book on the chapter on this book and get on to the next one. And you look back on this life and you go, yeah, I did this. I created that. This is really your list of goals for this life. But I want you to fast forward to that day and mock up being at that point and go, yeah, this was a good one. And what are the things that made it a good one? So list those things out right now, even in your mind if you need to. This is a very personal list. This is a list that, you know, consists of your interests and desires across the different dynamics. You could look at it from your family's perspective, your third dynamics, your fourth dynamic, seventh dynamic. And once you've done that, I want you to compare that to the list of your existing problems, the thing you just looked at a couple minutes ago. And ask yourself this question: are you working on the right problems right now? Some of you are. Some of you might be putting a little bit more attention on some of the problems you have right now than if you look back on what you're running into right now, 10 years from now, you might be a little bit embarrassed that you got so serious about the existing problems you have right now. Yeah. That might be something to look back on and go, gosh, can you believe that I got that uptight about that? How's this going?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Very interesting.
Good stuff to look at, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do with the clients when I'm doing this delivery, I say, okay, good. How many of you have kids? And how many of you guys have kids? Raise your hands. Okay,
Thumbs
good.
up.
So I give this example. I say, imagine you've got your kid, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, in the living room, swinging a little play sword around and swings that play sword right into your brand new flat screen TV, big 80-inch that you just got from Best Buy that you did not get the accident protection on because you thought it was too expensive. So brand new TV, you just spent 2,500 bucks on this thing and your kid's play sword went straight into it and just destroys the screen. Now, what do you think the typical parent's reaction would be?
Beat your ass.
Yeah, beat your ass, go to your room, scream at the kid, all these different things, right?
Yep.
Now, fast forward 10 years from now, that parent who screamed at his child or her child, 10 years from now, how important is that event going to be? How important is that event going to be 10 years from now?
Minor.
It's not going to be very important. It's not going to be very important at all. But if they mistreated their kid, I can guarantee you that it's going to read on a meter. If
Yeah.
they screamed at their kid, slapped their kid, made their kid wrong, you know, the kid's hyper interbulated, right? Absolutely in a state of shock themselves. So think about this. What would the best way be to handle your kid, knowing that in 10 years from now, you're not going to be, you know, too concerned about this event? How could you turn the time machine back to today, knowing that in 10 years from now, you're not going to look at this so seriously? What do you think the best reaction would be today? What would you say or do with your child?
Only hit him one time rather than two.
You
Thanks
could
for
make
the
him
honesty.
right. Make him right for
Yeah.
breaking the TV, right?
Yeah, how would you do that, Cream? Cream, tell me, how would you do that?
Kareem?
I would, you
No,
know,
he's onto something.
I'd make it funny, like, oh my gosh, that stupid TV. You know, that was really going to be a waste of our time watching that big TV when we should really be playing and in action, and we should be sword fighting.
Spot on. You are spot on. And you take that and say, listen, hey, Jimmy, man, listen. Okay, so obviously that wasn't good. And I think your mom's told you a few times not to swing your sword around and play in the living room. So we've just done it. So we probably got some stuff to fix. Now, I don't know about what you're thinking, but I'm thinking maybe, you know, you're going to help me with the lawn for the next 4 weeks, or you help your mom, you know, in the kitchen with the dishes for the next 4 weeks. What do you think? You think you should do both? I think that's a great idea. Okay, so let's clock that up. Okay, but now we got that out of the way. Now, what about this TV? I think this TV's a goner. So I think you should give it another whack, and then I'm going to take a turn, and then we're going to get mom in here and have her take a turn. Right? Now, how many of you would be proud to have handled that scenario 10 years from now, looking back on it? Raise your hand if you'd be proud about that.
Yeah.
All right. So think about that in your problems that you experience tomorrow. It's a tough thing, but if you can operate in futures and live life like that and not let some of these things get so serious. Why so serious? If you can operate like that, where are you going to be on the tone scale?
Very high.
Of
You're gonna be
3.0.
way up there. Above 3.0. Spot on. So that is the piece of tech I wanted to give you guys, because there is no winning if you're down the tone scale. And if you are down the tone scale, this group exists to help bring you out of it, because you know what? Life does happen, and it is hot, and it is fast, and it can be brutal. LRH lays it out exactly. But if we can manage between us to make sure that we don't get too serious, there's a possibility of winning. And if we can think about operating in futures to such an extent that we don't get too serious about the here and now, and we look at our long-term this life goals and make sure that we're operating on those instead of the smaller stupid things, you're going to find some other stuff happens, which we're going to leave for another delivery. But I think I've gone over in time. But how was today? Was this helpful?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Very.
Awesome.
Awesome. Excellent. Excellent. Good. So with that, I think the next step is Mr. Jason Stretch. I'd like you to kind of take from here and talk to the group a little bit about the model of admin know-how, because we're going to be putting that program in. That's our goal. That's our product here. And a business with the model of admin know-how in place is probably more bulletproof than any others that we've seen. So, Mr. Stretch, take it away.
Hello, everybody. So I've taken responsibility for the model of making sure the model of admin know-how gets done for each of us. I'm pretty passionate about it and about helping everybody get it in. I did a Mac model of admin know-how back in 2017. And, you know, it's like that kind of the first barrier of study. Yeah, I'm good. I know it all already, you know. I've got it all in. And I started going through the workbook and I'm like, ooh, look at that. Ooh, wow. And long story short, you know, found out that there was a lot of missed opportunities and some things that I had let him fall out in my business, successful actions, or, you know, even something as simple as having an org board that to communicate to the staff as to how the organization works. Just what not having it meant after putting it in and having it. So I'm sure we've all, you know, let things kind of roll sometimes and we're like, wow, how long has that been out? Has anybody had that happen to them in their business?
Many times.
Right. So this is
Yeah.
really, we've all had that experience. This is one of the coolest things, and it's part of what we do as a group is get standard technology in our business, in our business. And the Mac, so it's a series of 6 steps. The stats from us completing different sections of our own Mac count towards the game with other EMAs.
Mhm.
And so it's really important because we like to play games as shop owners, right? And this group is totally going to smoke these other groups. So I need to get everybody signed up on their Mac and make sure everybody has their MacBook. And what I'll be doing is emailing everybody individually to try to set up a time just to go over it, look at how it works online with submitting, you know, your proofs and all that, so that you know, we can all get through this together and just see the amazing, you know, wins and effects it will have on our business and on our group. So that's pretty much it. So as the in charge, you know, we'll set reasonable targets to complete different sections, whatever section we're on. And if there's any help that's needed, you know, you feel stopped, you know, something's not moving, and I'm here, you know, whatever it takes. And I know that's true for everybody else here. So let's just figure out a time when you get the email. We'll get together and get started. There's also, what really makes it special is you're going to have the opportunity to twin with somebody in our group. So, you know, we'll see how that rolls, but you're going to have to, for the justice factor, you know, a little added help.
But it actually balances flows.
That's a good idea.
It helps pop you out of your own scene, because it's often easier to look at somebody external to your scene and give them guidance and direction And as we mentioned at the beginning of this, it's a two-terminal universe. It's so helpful to have somebody else's, observation on you and you to them. So that's great. So what are the next steps? How do we get everybody rolling on this, Jason?
Well, like I said, I'm gonna email everybody that's participating in this meeting individually, and the people that aren't here that have been here in the past, to invite them to just meet up. And I'll screen share, how you're going to get logged in and, submit these things and keep track of, your completion dates, targets, etc. And it's really simple. And then everybody order it. I hope everybody has a MacBook. If not, I just ordered 10 for myself, to get here. So if you don't have one, I'll have extras and I'll just send it to you.
What was the date for it to come? I signed up like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I honestly don't know.
What we can do is, I think, Jason, is that if we find that is the case, we'll just alert Bronwyn and
Yes.
and then get Bronwyn Wendell's data to make sure that they get that shot out like a bullet out of a rifle.
And I found out today because, it's a question for me, because I wanted to be like, look, I've got the book, I've got all these books, and I'm going to send them all to you. But that just wasn't the case. The good news is there's a PDF version of the book. It's not the same quality, but it is the same materials. It's not all fancy and, so when we get together, I'll make sure you at least have that.
Okay.
So, the not having the book isn't going to stop us from starting.
Okay.
Jason, I got the idea that there was a version, like a revised version fairly recently. Is that right?
Yeah.
So,
My book is different. It's the same. There's some.
I don't know, but I will find out and get back to you, because I have that same question, but I have not received my new book to compare it to the old book. Mike has it.
Yeah. I don't believe that there were any significant changes. I think it was just, it got a new cover. But the bottom line is that, Jason put that in, and I think I mentioned it last week that, Ryan, my business partner in the digital ore board product that we're working on right now, it went to go help, because Jason's one of the pilotees for this product, and went and, Jason was sitting there and they just, were able to sit, and the shop was running, and it's a nice environment where you're being the CEO and you can sit and watch your organization rather than have to be your organization. So kudos again for anybody who's achieved that. But I think part and parcel is the fact that he's put some of these points in place. And so a worthwhile goal. And that was put in place with the old workbook. But yeah, we'll find that out if there were any changes of the new workbook. But very minimally, you got the PDF, and the PDF is something you can work on. And we'll get those other workbooks, the hard copies, out to you.
Rock and
Good.
roll.
So
that's all I got.
Yeah. Rock and roll. Good. So, I think we're probably, what I thought was going to be something that would be interesting to do is, last week we talked about some of the promotional actions that you guys were going to do. Did anybody institute some promotional things, and did you get any result from that?
Where's Mike?
Oh, we got one of Mike's
Dan?
cameras in there.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, Nadine. Hey.
We did. I mean, we had something kind of started in the works on a rebate check from a company that we use. I mean, some of you guys might use Mechanic Advisor. And so anyway, they printed them and everything for us, but a rebate check, and they They called it Cool Bucks or something like that. And it's kind of like blue.
Okay.
And so it
Nice.
went out so faster than we thought. Emily was emailing today, our manager, that she already got calls, and I forgot. Normally I give everybody a copy of the promo that we mail out, and I forgot. So that was really cool. And we have another promo piece that I was running around, and I'm dropping off for bulk mail now. I'm the bulk mail delivery person right now. when we do it ourselves, and I don't want to wait on a mail house. The mail house, a separate mail house from Mechanic Advisor, they just could not get it out quick enough. So we have like a large industrial printer, and then we just handle it and do our own mailers. So
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, that's great stuff. I mean, normally when you do any promotional piece, we all know that there's a bit of a lag before it hits, but it sounds like you're already getting some nibbles. Normally we see 6 weeks of a delay from when you get any promotional piece out. Good. Any other promotional? Those are great things, Nadine. Well done, and well done that you're already getting response. That's just nice stuff.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else doing some promotional stuff? Yeah. What you got, Jason?
So, you know, I'm always looking for new lines in the grapevine for finding technicians and finding other shops that might be for sale, other businesses. We have an insurance guy that does mechanical, comes and looks at mechanical repairs that are required for some of these different aftermarket insurance companies. And we're in very good communication with him. And I got together with him the end of this last week, and it turns out he knows an amazing amount of technicians because he's dealing with the technicians directly at these businesses. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, so really got to establish, with him how we roll with paying $1,500, if he hands us a lead that we end up hiring. So if anybody's looking like on the technician lines, look for that guy who's like the mechanical, works as an independent for all of these aftermarket insurance warranty companies. He's probably already been to your shop, 5 or 6 times, the same guy. He's looking at all these other technicians. So that was another good promotional line that was found.
Nice work. Good, mate. Good. Anybody else have anything that they thought were some successful actions that they might want to share, either wins or successes from last week that you think the rest of the group could benefit by?
Dan, I was just going to say one thing on what, with the surveys that, Jason, Mike, and Jimmy are doing the surveys through the, we're doing it through Snap-on. I'm not sure if you guys are also doing it through Snap-on, but it was interesting that as soon as we started that outflow, just the simple fact of doing the outflow, we had an amazing applicant come in, not through that line. I think he was through Indeed or something. And he started, this is his 2nd week. We absolutely love him. But my background is in, telemarketing and good old fashioned outflow. And so I know I've read, LRH, I don't know which reference it is, but that outflow is more remunerative than inflow. And just the simple act of getting any, outflow out in that area. And we had some inflow already, and the survey's not even complete. So that was really cool.
So cool. Well done. Yeah, that's HOPL outflow. It's actually called outflow.
Okay.
Outflow is,
okay.
Yeah, holier, more remunerative. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Hey, so we got Jimmy here. Look at that.
Hey guys.
Celebrity appearance.
We missed you.
Give us
Oh, I missed you guys. I rushed out of session. I told my auditor, no, I can't answer that question. I need to be on Zoom.
Yeah, that's what you did. Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah. Good luck.
And she said, I'll repeat the auditing question.
Exactly.
Here's your routing form to ethics, Jimmy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned it. That's what I'm waiting for, actually.
Hey, it's awesome.
Funny.
You always end up with a win from ethics.
Yes, that's the truth. Hurts so
Good.
good.
Well,
So good.
yeah, right. So Jimmy, we did a little piece of tech delivery. I'm recording this whole thing, so you'll have access to it. Anybody else who missed it or would like to refer back to it, you guys let me know, and we'll get this around to you so that you guys can play it. Jimmy, we covered some of that data of spirit of play, insouciance, flippancy, laws of theta, laws of MEST, how you descend the tone scale. As you descend the tone scale, you more closely approximate the laws of MEST, and how we got to stay above 3 point on the tone scale if we want to win.
Yeah.
And then we did the time machine drill, a real quick version of the time machine drill, which you're familiar with. So,
Yes.
and I think everybody here liked it and appreciated that LRH data. And then Jason went through the model of admin know-how, and that we're going to get everybody enrolled in doing that. And that's where we sit.
Very cool. Awesome. Awesome. So who's going to be the first one done with their Mac? That's the question.
Jimmy is.
He better not be the last, huh?
Nope.
They call that being
Good.
voluntold.
Voluntold, yes.
Voluntold.
Yes.
You were voluntold to be the
Yes.
first one, Jimmy.
Hey, Jason, could you just quickly outline what are the points for the model of admin know-how so people can understand what does that mean to have your model of admin know-how in?
Jason, org board. Having your org board in the communication lines of the organization. There's actually a video. I'm just not sure how to like share screen and stuff. But you know, the 3-basket system, communication center. Or if you don't know,
Yep.
you're going to find out because it's all in the book, and getting all these various points in, you know, show that you're utilizing the standard technology in your business across the 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, just in brief, it's, you know, I want everybody to think with the simplicity in these things. You got to have your cash bills in order, meaning any current bills that you have are paid, or you have excess cash, then you have bills, due bills, not your total liabilities, but your, you know, overall current bills, current owing bills. So you have to have more cash than current owing bills. That's your solvent. Second point is, or another point is, you got to have your org board in place and in use. Another point is you got to be using stats and managing by them. Another point is having, you know, some form of a comm center in place and a comm system in place so that things are being handled in writing and everybody's got a basket, you know, how to deal with it. You've got to have your references on hand, basically those blue and white references from the Hubbard College. And then you got to have staff training in. So, you know, whether you're doing it yourself with them or they're doing it in an online training platform, which could be the Model of Admin Know-How site, or we're going to be doing one for Victory Team Building, where your staff can sit and learn about ARC, learn about how a shop works, learn about the hat of a service advisor, etc. But that's staff training, and those are the 6 points. It's pretty straightforward, and those are all things that you'd want to have in place. How many of you feel that you've got the majority of these things somewhat in place and they just need some fine tuning? Good, Kareem. Yeah, good, Wendell. Good, just about everybody. So I think this task is going to be real easy. When Jason was just talking about how do we win? Well, the way we win is it's a point system. Every time you get a target of the Model of Admin Know-How program in place, we get points for that. And when we get the whole program complete, it gets submitted and approved. We get a massive point
10 points. 10
value for this.
Question.
Yeah.
All right, I'm anxious to get the org board, but you said it's electronic version. And then also about putting stats, and I've been putting them in on the drive site, but we're supposed to have a site we're gonna be able to put our stats into. Different.
We're gonna have both those things.
What are you using now, Wendell?
My org board, I long time ago didn't bother with it, but as the stats, I've been putting them in on drive.
Your own graphs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Putting the stuff in on drive, right.
The mac.org is available. It's very inexpensive right now. You can certainly use that.
Mac.org.
Yeah. Jason will get you referred on that.
Well, so this is something that we all going to be putting in.
Yeah.
Same place.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, I have a question. So that is what we're going to be using, because I was looking at Orgable. There was a couple of other programs. So this is the one you want as a group we're going to work with, right? Mac.org.
Yes, that's the one that is, as of right now, that is the one that has the most easy access to LRH. Jason's very familiar with it. There's ways to get some padding on it, on using it, that are fairly simple. So the nice thing that they've done recently is that they've actually created a training platform on it for you can get. Have you ever seen, you've seen the little, I mentioned it last week, the little blue booklets you get from Hubbard College with your WISE membership? Every one of those booklets is available as a course.
80.
Huh?
I think they have like 80 short courses they're going to have.
Yeah. And so it's a pretty simple way to get training in place. And right now it's the best. For right now, it's the best place to put the org board, put the stats.
The org board we can do that on that same site.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get my confusion of this. Y'all talk about electronic org board and all that, and waiting to figure out what is it coming to me, or I have to go to something.
Okay.
To get this stuff going.
So I'll make sure I put that information in the email that I'm going to be sending out to everybody about setting up the time as far as how to get in communication with the folks over there to get set up, and they have great help if you need help.
Okay.
There is, and it's and the deal that they have for WISE members, you're not going to be able to beat it. It's a great exchange for what is there. See the commanding officer of WISE, Nick Terenzi, Rafferty Pendry, who's another senior Scientologist, have worked really hard to get all of us access to stuff that's available usually only at Hubbard College through that platform. So I highly recommend that you guys take advantage of that and do some of those little courses. I mean, there's nothing little about them other than it'll take you a little bit of time, but I mean, there's some amazing stuff in there. I'll give you an example. The last time they had a ratchet wrench conference was October of 2019, and I delivered 3 seminars there. And the seminar, the big seminar that I did, that had about 80 people in it, I did right from the Hubbard College booklet called the model hat for an executive, or a model hat for an executive. And that's a little booklet. It's a policy that LRH wrote about the 3 types of staff members, right? And we've all learned about that, but that's where that data came from. And I literally used that reference to deliver the seminar. I had 4 slides in the whole seminar. It was 45 minutes long. I had 4 slides because I just read right from the booklet. It was a standing ovation.
Wow.
LRH Tech, standing ovation. And they were blown out of their minds, because if you read that reference, it's really, really validating to you as an executive, as an owner, but it's also really validating to the willing staff that we have on our team and how to deal with them. It's really cool. Nick Terenzi was the one that turned me on to doing that as my topic. And it was perfect. But just recently, Nadine and I and our manager went to that reference, and it's mind-blowing for your managers too, because it gives them the tools to handle all these different personalities. So
This is going to be in the booklet that we're supposed to be getting as a WISE member?
no, this is you're gonna have access to these courses. I think you pay like $25 for one of those courses. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because I joined for the WISE, I will be getting these other kind of blue booklets you was talking about there, right?
You'll start getting them in the mail, but when you subscribe to the mac.org, you're gonna get access to buying those courses, and they're
okay. Gotcha now. All right. Cool.
I could really I really can't oversell how much value is there on that, and honestly that's COWISE, and that is Rafferty, and that is Nick Terenzi on that particular line there.
It's a fixed fee monthly. It gives you up to 5. You can enroll up to 5 of your staff on any of the short courses at the same time. I just found a lot of half-dones and backlogs with one of my executives, and I put him on half-dones, or not dones, half-dones and backlogs, short course, couple hours, and the improvements is amazing. So
that's what I need.
there's a lot of great tools there to address any of the problems you may be having, in your shop.
Yeah, it's all secular. It's all set up. There's no. It's all set up to be delivered to raw public.
Okay. Well, Jason, get it to me so I can get signed up.
Okay. Anybody else ready to sign up?
I think
I'm signed up
so.
already.
Who has it? I mean, I know Jason and Mike and I do.
I
Kareem,
do.
are you on are you on Rafferty's platform?
No, I didn't know about it. So it's mac.org, M-A-K?
MAKH.org.
Yeah, I have it. Give me-
M-A-K-H.org?
Yeah, carlabandknowhow.org, MAKH.
Okay.
And you can contact Mr. Strube, or you can contact do you know COWISE, Kareem?
Quentin?
Not Quentin. He's East US.
Okay. So who is the
Scott
COO?
Scott Waldorf.
I don't think so.
Good guy, really good guy. He's in the West. He's out of LA.
Okay.
So
Cool.
Nancy, do you and Peyton have any of that yet? Oh, we lost Nancy. Okay.
And another thing that was mentioned was there's a volume, a set of volumes, right, that Hubbard College put together on the various divisions of an organization, or training volume. They came out like 5-6 years ago.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right
Oh,
there.
Mike, look at Mike.
Right.
It's $1,500. You can get them right from the college. They're working to include them into the mac.org platform somehow in the future. But you can literally open that book to anyone in your organization. You know, secular.
Absolutely worth every penny. You should, if you don't have it, you should get off from the call. Yeah, and get a hold of the college and get them. It's quick reference. Everything's there. You got a question, you can pop it open. It's right there. Got to work on your org board. It's right there. All the valuable final product right there.
Dan, do you know the story about how they came up with those books?
Yeah, so a lot of that came from MGE and other consulting groups of approved secular references. So model hat of an executive, leadership stuff, all the stuff that's been secularized already. And then they did a whole secularization process, and they're continuing to secularize things. So yeah, it's 100% approved for any staff. You know, you don't want to pull out your green vols with a staff member. Obviously, it's the source technology, and we'll cover it collectively between ourselves. I can talk to you about it. You can talk to each other about it. But when you bring out a green volume or any book that has a Dianetics or Scientology symbol on it, you are at that point somewhat crossing the line of religion in the workplace. So this was a solution for that. $1,500 is, it's like Mike and Jason said, it's just a steal. It's a ton of data. And if nothing else, just put, you know, when you feel like you're down and out, a little bit down tone, just randomly select them. The volumes are all divided by subjects, and pull out leadership or management or whatever, and crack it open, let the book fall open to the page and just start reading. And it's just quite awesome.
All right, so
I could answer your question from before. We have two sets: the prosperity planners, the model of admin know-how workbooks. Is that what you're referring to? And all the little booklets?
No, I think you went out. There's a Mike Schiller, the references.
Oh no, those are on my to buy list. I have only the green volume, so you're talking about the blue.
The blue.
Okay.
so
Got
how
it.
do I get them?
They're great. I mean, again, the nice thing about those is you don't have to look through 7 volumes of church material to find these were hand selected as the most important relevant references that the consulting groups use.
I got you. How do I get them though?
Yeah. Good question.
Through you can get them through your WISE membership. Mr. Screw would be happy to help, or we call the college directly.
So I don't know how to do that right now.
All right, well, we'll get you the information.
Okay.
I'll put it all in that email. I'm gonna send it out here when we're done.
Okay.
And I'll include where to get those, the mac.org, as well as the the Mac workbook.
Well, mine's supposed to be on the way. Is there a way to check on that? You was trying to.
I can assure you this, Jason. Jason is all over it, so don't worry about it. You're gonna be seeing them soon.
Yeah,
we were just talking about
my attention and intention has been recognized at the highest levels. So, but it's like so those books. books, the reference sets. I mean, I'm using references out of that for my hats, for hatting. It's like they need to study these references as part of their hat, you know, as, you know, the whatever post it is, you know. It's really powerful, and it eliminates a lot of work, you know, on the training side.
Send me that stuff so I can go ahead and get those ordered.
Okay.
Yeah. I think one of the lessons that I've learned about, you know, with this material is that, you know, don't be afraid to give it to your staff and be blown away by the cognitions that they're going to have when they read it for themselves. Really. I mean, we all have our own reality of studying LRH and the cognitions we've had, and we've been through seminars and we've used it. But you think about, like, you know, you go to a seminar or a training like what Dan just put on, and you think of the cognitions that you have. Imagine like your staff, you give them a reference that is relevant to exactly to their job, exactly what they're doing, something they're struggling with, and just let them read the reference right from the horse's mouth, right? And let them win with it.
Yeah.
You know, don't be afraid to give it to them. It like literally.
Yeah. That's what I need. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you two-way calm with them about it.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think of that? How does that apply to your job? Do you have any questions? And be prepared to be blown away. You know, like it's pretty awesome. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. You know what I mean? It's like we can all remember going to the original seminar, whether it was Bob Spitz or Mike Lee or Larry Monroe. I think all of you guys were around before I was delivering it, but you know what I mean? It was like, I mean, the lights were, you know, the fireworks were going off, right? I mean, it's like, shit, where has this information? Some of you guys have been in business for a long time before you ever received that data.
Oh, yeah. I was in business 79, 87 before 98 before I got it.
Where the hell have you guys been? Exactly. I don't know. How long have Peyton and Nancy, how long have you and Peyton been on the line?
Since 95, 96.
Oh yeah. You guys were like beginning.
Yeah.
Randy
Bunn was a tag.
Wow. Randy's one of the originals.
Randy and Jill.
Yeah. So you got to think back to those pleasure moments, right? Of like, wow, remember the cognitions that you had when you saw the tone scale. Remember the cognitions you had when you saw the emergency formula and you realized that you were economizing when you should be promoting, you know, and being able to give that to your staff. Like, that's what we're doing here. We're putting the foundation in place, you know, so that there's a place for that stuff. It's like, it's the base, right? It's the base. It's the fundamentals where all that training, you're going to have a place to put the org board. It's going to mean something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing some training right now with Dan that is blowing me away on the functionality of the org board and what it's supposed to look like. Like literally, like what a flow chart actually does, you know, and how it relates to the org board. And I mean, he gave me this drill to do with this other software that we're developing, or I'm piloting for him. He's developing with another guy, but it's like, you know, you see all the holes when you go through this drill. When you go through putting your org board together, you're going to see the holes in your organization. Like, I'm sitting there writing up a flow of something, and I go, in order to do this step, you need to follow the blah, blah, blah procedure. And I'm thinking to myself, shit, I don't even have that procedure written.
That's my problem. It's in my head, or
It's
you
right,
gotta,
but
you gotta think to it on a different level when you're training somebody else and putting it in writing. It's like, you know,
Gradient.
you do it automatically. You're just, you know, you've mastered it. You don't even think twice about it. And you have to stop and do that. And that's where we're at right now. It's like, ugh.
I wish I could just book in mind meld for them, what I want.
this is gonna force that in, okay?
Yeah.
It's gonna force it in. And I'm telling you right now, this group, I can already tell we want to win this game. And it's going to be that internal pressure from all of us to push each other to get these program steps in. That's going to make this fun. It's going to make it fun. And the results are, they're going to be amazing. They're going to be amazing. Jason, did you tell them, like, the first year you had your shop there, you put the Mac in, right?
Yes, sir.
And then what happened the next year?
I don't know. We were like 2 million from 750 or something.
750. He more than doubled his sales, right? And he was the top shop at Management Success from doing the Mac. Okay, so that's the power of what it is. We're giving each other the game of, like, let's get this thing done. Let's get this in. And if anybody's struggling along, like we're Scientologists, we can coach each other along. Okay, let's find the MU, find the misunderstood, right? Okay, let's demo that out. Let's work through this. And then you've got Dan Brown is on here, right? Every week he's been on here with us. We have access to these powerhouses. Okay, Jason and Mike are studying at Hubbard College. Nick Terenzi is totally, as I told you guys before, Nick Terenzi was one of the reasons that Management Success was created. He loves the automotive industry. He's a total, source for us. So Mr. Strube, obviously. So we have no reason not to win. That's all I can tell you.
Well, and this so lines up with the third part of the affluence attainment formula. It's standard technology, just making sure that all this is in our business and working is so critical to completing that formula.
That's right. You guys know what he's talking about, correct? The affluence attainment.
Yeah.
Hard work. In ethics.
In ethics.
Standard tech. Right. Doing the things that won, not the things untried as yet. And then the fourth one, or the fifth one, is, Jason, do you have it there?
Yeah, applying
very important.
Applying the formula of the condition one is in.
There you go. Why don't you read that policy since you have it in front of you?
Okay.
Read all of them so that I'm not giving them verbal data.
All right. It was spot on though. I'm just gonna put that out there. Affluence attainment consists of 1, hard work, 2, in ethics, 3, standard technology, 4, doing the things that won, not new things untried as yet, 5, applying the formula of the condition one is in.
Crucial. The fifth step is like nothing else matters, right? The condition formulas. So, cool. Well done, guys. Well, let's wrap it up and send a text to our friends who aren't on the call, reminding them of how much fun we had.
Are you going to be, is this going to be recorded so we can, like, Peyton, never mind. Peyton couldn't be here. He had a doctor's appointment, which we're not even going to go into it here, but can I have him watch this, like Dan's presentation and this whole meeting? Is that going to be available, and how do I get that?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take it, download it, edit it, and then we'll put it as an unlisted link, and I'll send that around. It'll be a YouTube link.
On YouTube? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Awesome, because that was really, and I missed part of it, and I wanted to rewatch that myself. So that was awesome. So will this meeting will the rest of the meeting be recorded too? No. Okay.
Yes, the rest of the meeting will, but we're not going to make these available for review afterwards. I mean, the whole.
You did say that last week.
Yeah. The point is we want this to be the most important meeting of the week. You know what I mean? And we want to make sure that the value is that strong that, you know, you don't want to miss it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jason.
I've got, I'm working on getting an attorney who's a OTA attorney in Clearwater to, you know, figure out a time to come in and talk to us about implementing, do a delivery on, getting the technology into your business and operating just, you know, with no worries or considerations. So there's some, you know, plus, I mean, all these other people, like, this is literally like, this is going to be where all the best stuff happens in our week.
Yeah. Yeah. And once we start getting, you know, some results of wins,
okay,
you know, of everybody putting the stuff in, we want to share wins, because that's where it's at. It's like that builds that belief in that this is the correct technology, right? And knowing it's the correct technology. That's where it comes.
Applying it.
That's right.
Yes.
Applying it consistently.
That's right.
Over time. Wendell's laughing.
And guys, look, this goes back to basic study technology, right? You've all done some sort of a basic study course.
Sure.
Right. The only reason that somebody doesn't apply material, the doingness, goes back to misunderstoods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. And it's not a big deal. It's only a big deal if you don't share that, hey, I'm having trouble applying this. I don't see how it applies to my business. It's not going in. Why? Okay, well, let's look at the reference. Let's figure it out. Okay. It will go in. I promise you. You're gonna get the results that if you work at this, if you guys commit to working at this, I assure you, as long as you're working at it, nobody in this group is going to give up on you. Period. Not until you get the damn results that this technology can produce. Okay?
Gotcha.
So that's my commitment. That's my commitment. I know that's Dan's commitment. I know it's Jason's commitment, Mike's commitment, right? Like, this group, damn it. This is a freaking powerhouse group, and you guys deserve to have the power of the tech implemented in that shop, so that you have the time and the money to enjoy your life, go up the bridge, right, and really get the results of the hard work, the benefits of the hard work. That's what we're doing.
I have a question before we end, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Is everybody, who are you all using for your websites? Is there any particular company that you guys are using that you like, that is good for automotive websites?
I like the guy that I'm using right now, but I'm not set on referring him yet. So to answer that question, I don't know. Jason's probably done the most research on that right now.
So I haven't gotten to the point of doing websites yet, but I can tell you the best value for the money is automotive repair shop websites, and they do collision as well. I actually got a collision guy I work with. I'm like, look, because he, you know, he's just stuck in his business. But I'm like, here, sign up with these guys. And he did. And now he's like coming up on, you know, all these, you know, searches in the area.
What's the name of it?
It's automotive repair shop websites. And just
Send that out in a link. Send it out.
I'll add that to the email. But there's so much more to websites than just, because 90% of the products out there are just a cookie cutter, you know, product. And there's so much more to it. Like I could talk about that for hours, but
well, I'm still with Drive at the moment, and we are getting a bunch off of that, believe it or not, at the moment. You know, they had them handling some of my social media.
Well, I'm going to tell you this: no matter what, at this point, just apply the condition you're in with it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to cut every line on you know, with that. If you got something that's working right now, then
Mine's working.
leave it be.
Yeah, gotcha.
Kareem, have you talked to Dino about what he's using?
No.
Okay.
Well, Dino bought into a franchise of sorts, so he's pretty much paying a franchise fee and has a national, you know, link.
Car Star, right? He's a car shop now. Okay.
Kareem, when we get together to talk about, you know, getting you lined up with the Mac, I'll definitely share some stuff with you that I know will be valuable and irresistible.
Good. Yeah.
Right. You do the same for me, Jason? Give me some irresistible?
I want the irresistible.
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling left out of this conversation right now, but that's okay.
Well, it's body shop related. That's all. So I can, you know, it's just, it's relevant to him and his business.
It's its own animal.
Yeah.
Awesome. I look forward to it.
Okay.
Is there any big trucks in this group or no?
Yes.
There is? Okay.
Yeah.
Big truck?
Will be. Stacy, I'll get Stacy in here. I still need to call her.
I'm big trucks.
Oh, good. Okay.
Like class 8? Are you talking class 8 or class 5 and below?
You're asking me?
Everything.
Nice.
She's talking about like the over the road kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. Is Mike Pentangale on the call?
Yep, that's me, Jimmy.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mike does big truck.
Okay. Because I was trying to talk to Stacy, you know Stacy Connor,
Yeah.
about this group.
Oh, she's a badass. We gotta get her in here.
Yeah.
I know. I know she's been doing stuff with the 10X with what's his name?
Cardone.
Cardone, yeah.
Yeah.
I know because I've been on a couple of those calls with her. She invited me, but she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
What she's doing out there.
She's got a whole technical training school going up there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, let's definitely get her on here. Cool. Well, we did it again.
Yep.
We went overtime.
Yep.
I'm only seeing smiles, so
I'm gonna run.
All right, guys. Have a great week.
Thank you. You too. Great
Bye.
week, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hopefully I'll be on a little bit next week too. So
All right.
Take care.
thanks guys.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Dylan.
Bye.
Bye,
Right.
Nick.
Bye.
See you.
Two women in the car. Women in cars. That's where we are.
Right. running.
Well,
today.
no, I'm staying out of the rain. And our air conditioning broke in our shop. The guy can't come out till next week, so I'm in the car in the air conditioning.
Oh, good.
I'm refreshing myself.
Good.
Yeah. I know, it's been
Great
crazy.
to see you, Nancy.
I am so happy for this group. I really am.
Oh,
Need it.
so are we.
I need to get back on track. Big time.
That's what we're all doing. We're gonna be getting back, all of us, getting more and more tech in.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
In every facet of my life.
Yes. We're
I
gonna
gotta get
kick each other in the butt to get it all done.
Yeah, that's what I need. Accountability.
Yeah.
It's all good.